It is day 38 of our 0 to 10K challenge, and we need to make some money. But just so we have a little bit more context, it's a good day today. Today, I got a call from a contractor. He said, hey, come out, take a look at the build, because we submitted a bid, you know? So it's good that we got awarded, but the bid was for 10, it was around like 26,000 bucks. Polished concrete number was around 10. Epoxy number was around, should have been way more. Epoxy number was 1,000 times 15, which was 15,000, with another 1,500 in Cove. So, give or take, you know, it was a decent amount. Let's keep going, right? The biggest thing that I realized about, you know, this job is we got awarded it, but there's still some issues with how we're gonna get the epoxy done in the kitchen area, right? So here's the deal, and I think it's rather interesting, right? You know, a nice surprise to the beginning of a week to, you know that you got awarded. The problem is, it was a surprise. Even though we submitted a bid, and then, you know, now we're dealing with, our whole entire build out is 10 weeks. That means by April 6th, the build out has to be completed. Like, done, set, match, polished floor, pretty. Our work doesn't take long. So we could be in there in about a week and then we're done. So it's not like the issue comes is now we're having a little bit of issues because they spec a product called Silical. Silical, it's a bear of a not that it's hard to use. Is the, you know, a lot of these people that spec these programs or products, they want you to use their certified installers, and if you don't, then they're not going to sell it to you. So, you know, it's kind of a little annoying, to be honest with you. Like, but we get it. Like, we'll sell it to people if we were expecting a project. I get it. But like, sell it to the people, but they don't want to do that. So we still expect $14 a square foot for it, because the cost on that is close to 10. So, you know, you really have not much to make. You got to almost rub pennies together to make money on that, because you got to pray you don't make a mistake. So right now we have to find out if we were just awarded the polished concrete or the epoxy or both. But it's a beautiful start to the year. Last year we did 3 polished concrete jobs, which is amazing. I'm all for it. That's my specialty. And this year alone, we were awarded, this time we were awarded 3 or 4, 5 polished concrete jobs. And the amounts are around nominal, like 10,000, that's 30, another 10. So I'd say we have close to $70,000 to $100,000 in revenue, top line, from that. And we're gonna find out the true margins of that work, because it should be rather profitable. And they're really just labor intensive, as long as you have the tooling. If you don't have the tooling, it's not labor intensive, it's super expensive. It's really expensive. But you know, the biggest thing that I believe is happening now is, like, as a man, that I gotta tell you, there's a lot of things that just like didn't work out for me, and maybe I just didn't do them long enough to see results. But I gotta tell you, like, still a little surprised at the work. at the amount of work we're getting, I'm still surprised about it. I'd like to say I'm not surprised, but no, I truly am. Like, yeah, we're talking nice numbers, right? We're talking, 10, 20, 30. Yeah, like, they're nice numbers to hear, right? But I don't know, like, getting traction is not something that I could tell you that something I'm fully accustomed to. I kind of expect it not to work out. It sounds bad. So when it does work, I'm like, oh, I guess we're pushing the right buttons. Let's just keep going in this direction. Because my goal is have 30 to 40% of our revenue come from polished concrete, and then have the same revenue that we're going to get from epoxy jobs. So then this way we jump it off, and now we're in a place where we can, for one, I have more leverage, and in my negotiations for my equity split. But on the other end, the company starts to really benefit from this, and there's real growth attached to it, because epoxy is tough. Yeah, you can get paid $30 as an installer. Like, if you know what you're doing really good, you can 100% expect that type of money. Like, I won't even fight with you. Like, you deserve it. The part that's kind of tough is, if you're not like, you're kind of the only guy though. You're gonna be, there's a lot of stuff that you're accountable for, and then you have this huge volatility for the cost, like, because you have to front a lot of costs. So it's like you're seeing, oh, I charge $8,000 for this epoxy job, and it sounds all good and all, but you cannot make a mistake. There's no errors baked into that. This is what it is. If you can do this with no issues, no callbacks, nothing, you made out well. If you can't, that's when you start running into some issues, is, that. When you have issues. But long story short, is epoxy is a beautiful thing, but margins are tough, especially when you have to, you could do a bunch of garages and you won't know till about a year or two if things fall apart there. So it's a little bit tougher to base your margins off of that, because you got to pay your guys well. So with polished concrete, you have a nice hedge. So now you can pay your guys a little bit more. You have a little bit more margin for marketing. And that's what I've to be honest, like, I've made money with polished concrete, like, as a business, so I knew it's fruitful. I'm just like, I'm plugging away at it because I know it's an awesome business model when you have the stuff. But a part of me is still in disbelief with certain things, like, I'm in hopes, like, hey, I've done it myself, right? I did it in New York City, and we're just kind of saying, if there's demand up here, we should be good, right? But it's still a should. It's a hope. Like, the numbers, like, are tough, right? Because there are companies that do it around here. But that's my deal, is it's nice and to see the things that I've been working on for the last, 8 months. Since I came in April, and I didn't get real traction. I didn't start selling until July, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9 months, and for me finally to start getting traction in this is still hard to believe. And I'm still hoping that, with the margins looking if they're set up the correct way, we should be more than good. We should be in a position where we can afford growth, and there's a few things we should be able to afford. It's just one of those things that you want to be. I'm praying that God blesses us and we could get there. So It's and then today I'm gonna finish working on the integrations for the client onboarding process, and getting that to a place where it's super consistent, where you're onboarded, you get a welcome email. Your welcome email, this is what you decided, this is the color you wanted, this is what you want, and then move forward to the other part, which will be, hey, expected start date today, or this is your expected start date. We're going to be updating you in the next coming weeks for week out and then the day of. So about 4 emails with a process tracker or a progress tracker. That's going to be my thing now, as well as on the other end, it's just finishing up the automation for getting it on the installer side. So now we go from quote to invoice to welcome email onboarding process for the client. And then for the installers, we then go from, we have real transparency and we know who's doing the work, and then going from there. So this way we start to understand, we started getting some metrics, because people still have plausible deniability for bad jobs, which sounds crazy, but it happens. With that being said, this is day, I think, 38 of our challenge, and it's starting to bear some fruits, but there's still